Agriculture is a foundational part of the Canadian economy. Whether it's fruits and vegetables, grains, or livestock, the sector is dynamic and vast, contributing $150 billion in GDP and 2.3 million jobs, more than the oil, gas, automotive, and aluminum industries combined. Yet, it's being held back. CropLife Canada's president and CEO, Pierre Petelle, on the growth mindset required to unlock the economic potential.
We've seen a lot of discussion about unleashing Canada's economy with all of the trade tariff issues. We hear a lot about critical minerals. We hear a lot about some of our energy sector, and we don't hear a lot about agriculture. When in fact, it is the pillar of our economy in many ways. A lot of our grains and oilseeds are exported globally, and it brings in billions of dollars to our economy, which then helps fund our healthcare system and our infrastructure and our roads. And so it's the economic engine of agriculture. Yes, it's the direct food price and food affordability, but it's the revenue and economic contribution that it makes that affects every Canadian.
CropLife Canada is the national voice of the plant science industry, which develops and delivers seeds and crop protection tools to farmers to improve productivity and support food security.
If you can imagine a strawberry crop being wiped out, or half of it being wiped out by a disease because the farmer didn't have a tool to control that, well, when there's a scarcity of production, prices go up. We've all seen that. We've experienced, the $8 cauliflower, and so the farmers need access to the tools, which then depends on a proper functioning regulatory system.
Companies invest an average of $300 million and up to 10 years of R&D into developing a new crop protection product before it goes for approval. Delayed reviews at the regulator are disadvantaging Canadian farmers and disincentivizing investment in Canada.
The government's own performance timelines are 2 years for a new product to be approved. Now it's regularly taking 4 and 5 and 6 years to get a new product approved. And what that means is, the farmer doesn't have that latest innovation to combat a new pest pressure or disease pressure maybe that's come up through the climate change. But it also means that their competitors in other regions of the world are using those and are getting a leg up on our growers.
Canada is already watching Canadian innovation go to its competitors because their regulatory frameworks are more efficient and more predictable.
We have a Canadian story here, a Canadian company that was born out of Canada near Toronto, hires Canadian scientists, is Canadian innovation, but their pathway to commercialization has gone through the US because the pathway in Canada was too complex, it was not timely, and so all of the investment, they've got investment capital from the Canadian government, and yet the beneficiaries of all of that technology is our competitors to the south.
Unlike weather or global markets, policy is entirely within the government's control. CropLife Canada is calling on the federal government to enact a cultural shift when it comes to its approach to regulation.
We need to have a mindset that is focused on regulating to protect human health and the environment, but also realizing the significance of these tools for farmers. So whether it's crop protection tools or new plant genetics, obviously there needs to be a strong regulatory framework, but we need to also think about what will this tool mean for the farmer in terms of their sustainability, in terms of their productivity, in terms of the Canadian economy. And I think that's what's needed at this pivotal time in Canada's economy.
CropLife Canada is urging the government to implement no-cost measures to reduce red tape to make Canada a top destination for investment in agricultural innovation and to give Canadian farmers early access to the tools they need to compete.
If we look at the Pest Management Regulatory Agency, that's who regulates pesticides in Canada. It's under Health Canada. In the last 10 years, the number of submissions for new products has gone down by half. Yet, the timelines to approve those have doubled. So something isn't working in the current process. And so this is not going to be minor tweaks around the edges. We need a bold rethink, and it has to happen now.
After peaking in the 1990s and early 2000s at about 2%, Canada's agricultural productivity growth has stagnated and simply isn't sufficient to meet the growing global demand for food, and it is hurting Canada's economic potential.
Even a very conservative assessment shows from FCC, the Farm Credit Canada, that if we just returned back to the productivity levels we had 20 years ago, would be a $30 billion opportunity for Canadian agriculture. That's what's at stake here.